welcome to my channel, The Reclusive Crafter. My name is Dawn. So today you've come in just midway through me doing something. Today's been inspired by Kerry the Crafter, which is C-E-R-I, the Crafter. If you haven't been along to his channel, please do. He does some beautiful artwork and does lots of different things with jelly plates and all sorts of things. But one of his videos that I watched a couple of days ago, or might have even been yesterday, was a glue book that he started doing, which was inspired by somebody else that he had watched, and literally it is literally that. So you just glue whatever you want to in these books. His has been done on a theme with the colours of the rainbow, which I thought was a lovely idea. I've got loads of images and things that I don't think I will ever use in journals, so I thought I'd make a start and actually start making use of them. And it takes me back to, I suppose, my childhood days when I used to love cutting things out and sticking things in books and just generally getting messy with glue. So this is what I'm going to be doing today. The colours of the rainbow, I'm sure you all know, is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. He added in a black, which I thought was a really nice idea because you can get some really good grayscales and pictures on grayscales. So I've also done that as well, just to follow that particular theme, which I thought was great. And I've made a start, and what he suggested was whatever book you use. He was using a composite book. I don't have a composite book, but I do have lots of these semi-hardback notebooks. And he recommended taking 1 in 5 of the pages out. I've actually taken more than that out of here because it was quite a thick book. So I've actually ended up taking more of the pages out than he suggested. Which has actually left me with 12 pages for each of the colours, so I can have a good play. And it's not a big book. I'm not actually sure what size this would be. I guess it'd be an A5. So it's not a huge book. It's not going to take a lot to fill up, but I've got lots and little bits and designs. So I've already done a little bit. I'm going to go through and do a little bit more with you guys. Feel free to join me. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, that would be terrific. I'm trying to build up my subscribers. And if you can give me a thumbs up and like and comment on anything that you'd be interested in seeing. I do lots of different things. Primarily I work with paper, but I do lots of other things as well. So if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see, please do comment in the comment section and I'd be happy to take a look at it. So starting on the red, I've already put this in. I've had this in my collection for a long time. These are all out of magazines that I've cut out, and it's a beautiful image, but I've never got around to using it in any form of journal or journaling or anything else. And I just thought it lent itself really nicely to this particular project. And then we go through to orange, I think is next, and I found these, which I thought was lovely. So we've made a start on the orange. Yellow I've also made a start on. I found this image for yellow. I'm going to go through and add bits to this as well, so kind of doing a collage, I guess, of various pictures, but I thought that would be quite a good base for that yellow. And there's a cheesecake on the other side for that particular colour as well. And then we're into the green, which I've also made a start on, so I've got a little bit of collage going on with the green. And my intention will be that images will go on the top of this to make some sense of it. Blue, I have got that beautiful image there in blue, and again I may be adding things, I might not. I just think that's a lovely image, so I just thought I'd try that one out. Violet, I have got a violet in here somewhere. Where did I put it? There we go. That is just beautiful. It's a beautiful violet colour, and the white feather I think sets it off really nicely. Haven't got anything in the black yet. So I have made a start. I've got literally hundreds and hundreds of different bits and pieces here to go through, magazines of all sorts of things, and I just thought I'd have a look through and see what else we could make use of along the way. So when I say that I'm a messy crafter, this is my desk normally, so I just thought I'd let you see it in true form. I did find this, which will be going into the Probably be going into the violet section, so it'll probably be going into this one that I'm currently working on. But I want to use him as an image on top of the other images, so I haven't cut him out yet, but I intend to do so. So he's going to be used. And I'm running out of space. Where can I put things? I'll put that there. Okay, I found this for the blue. I quite like the geometry of that particular piece. I think it goes up that way. Yeah, it's a window, it goes up that way. I'm thinking about popping that into the blue, so I'm just popping that to one side. There's another piece of violet, I may use that. I've got another bit of red here, which I intend to use because I like the design on that. So we've got lots of bits and pieces at the moment. We've got purple here, quite like that as well, so I think I'll pop that in there. So we'll make a start on that one. And if you want to stay with me and keep me company, that'd be great. If you've already seen enough before you disappear, if you would like to subscribe as I've asked, that would be lovely as well. Oops, sorry, just making loads of noise. Just excited to be here today. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one in there. It's absolutely boiling today. Today is probably going to be around 30. Well, they reckon 34 down the south, and I'm up in the Midlands, and they reckon it's going to be about 31-ish up here. I think it could possibly get hotter. So we're all melting. So I've limited myself to just being in my craft room for this morning. And then I'm going to disappear outside with a very cold drink and just melt, I think, for the afternoon. There we go, that's that piece in. Okay, let's go through and find something else now. I've got lots and lots of different images, lots of things I can use. That's quite a nice little image there of an umbrella. That's quite nice to use in the blue section. Nice backing. Oh, and he's lovely. I haven't got a brown section, so I can't really make use of him. That's just gorgeous. Love that. That could be used in the blue section. I think I'll put that to one side because I might go, oh, that's nice, I like that. And there's another one that could be used in the yellow as well. That's lovely. That could be used in the blue, and that could be used in the green. They're very pretty designs. Okay, I think I will cut those ones out. See where we go with them. I am just using a ruler and a craft knife today because I think trying to use the trimmer and keep putting designs in and out. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Keep putting designs in and out will be a little bit laborious, so I'm just using a craft knife for speed with my ruler. Hopefully I'm not blinding you with the glare from the ruler. So you'll have to forgive my sniffles as well. My hay fever is actually quite bad at the moment, so I'm sniffling away and I'm sneezing and I'm itching and yuck, it's just horrible. So please forgive my sniffing if I do. I'm trying desperately not to, but I do forget. And if you've been here before, if you hear the snuffling, it'll be the dog at the door. I'm trying to ignore him. There we go. So, I've not really had a very busy week. I've had the week off work, which has been nice. And on Wednesday I went to see my granddaughter in her school concert, and she was absolutely fabulous, God love her. She was very, very nervous. She told me she kept forgetting her lines and just kept saying all sorts of things, but I couldn't tell, so she can obviously ad-lib really well, which was lovely. But she did so well, and the little play that she was in, she's in middle school. She's going up to, well, it would have been secondary when I was at school. I'm not sure. I think they call it high school now. I'm not really too sure. But it's big school anyway. She's going to big school in September and she's looking forward to that. So she's going to be joining her cousin, who's also there as well. And her cousin's doing extremely well in athletics at the moment. She does a lot of kickboxing. She also does shot put, which she's won a couple of championships. I think she comes second place in a school championship. Forgive me if that's wrong. And she's beating her personal best with every competition she does at the moment. So she's doing really well. So that's rather nice. And no doubt they're both looking forward to their summer break. So I'm just going to find my blue section. Blue, where does blue come? Blue comes after green, so that'll be the blue bit. These are actually quite pale. That one I want to use on the yellow section. I think that one I will use on the blue section, and I think that one I'm going to use on the green section. So I've got 3 images there that I can make use of. I don't really want to put that over the top of that because I don't think it's the right colour. So I'm just going to turn that over and I'm just going to maybe centralise that about there. We're just going to stick that in. If you haven't done a glue book before, and you know, you're just into crafting but you don't really want to spend a lot of time trying to think about it or a lot of fiddling around, this is an ideal little project to do. It fills in your day. You can do it virtually without having to think too heavily about what you're doing. Yeah, and it's just a nice way to spend a few minutes of your time not having to worry about things and just getting on with stuff. So that's the blue one in. I'll find the green, which is before the blue. So there's the green. I'm thinking I'd quite like that there actually and overlap those. Although I might wait before I put that in because I might put some other bits there. That might go over the top. I've stabbed myself with my craft knife. I digress then. Where was my train of thought? So I might put that over the top, so I want some other bits, but I'm not quite sure how that's going to fit into that page just at the moment. So I'm just going to leave that there and I'm going to go back to the yellow. Where's the yellow? Orange, yellow, here we go. So back to the yellow and just decide where I want that to be. Just make sure I'm in shot for you so that you can see what I'm doing. Again, maybe I'll put that on a separate page round that way. Yeah, I'm going to put that on a separate page, so I'm going to put that on a page of its own and work some other stuff into that. Not particularly had a busy week, which has been nice. It's been nice to just take a little bit of time off work and not have anything planned. I'd just be able to please myself what I do when I do it. I've spent most of my time in here. Honestly, I've made a right mess of that. Nice thing about this glue is it does rub off, which is good. There we go. Lovely. It's the only trouble when you're using a glue stick. It tends to stick everywhere. Yeah, and it gets all over you, so that's those ones on. And then this, I suppose, I'm not sure if that would be classified more as a yellow or an orange. Maybe an orange. What do you think? I think I'm going to cut out a piece of this and pop it with the orange. So I'm just going to cut a small piece of this. I just like the design of this. So I'm just going to cut a section of this and pop it in with the orange. And I'm literally just eyeballing it. So I'll use that bit there. I want to keep some of that white in there. And I'm just going to cut that bit off there, maybe use that for something else. And yeah, I think it is more of an orange than a yellow, and the orange comes after the red, which is there. And that's annoying. I should have looked at that sizing. Going to take just a little bit more of that off so that I can get it under those lips rather than anywhere else. I'm just using the grid on the mat to help me keep things quite square. I want to keep things quite square, but it's not important to do that. You can do it however you want. So if you want to just tear things up and stick things in that way, absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. That's good. Okay, we're going to pop that in there. A little bit of glue. That's that one done. I'm going to turn that way so that the lighter colour is by the darker colour, just to get that bit of contrast. And I just want to make sure that that's in the corner. And that's not very square, but there we go. I'm just going to just come over the page just slightly there. I can't see what I'm doing. I've got some glasses somewhere. Who knows where they are? Ah, found them. Trouble when you're getting old. You need 60 pairs of glasses just to see at different distances. Right, that's that one done. Okay, so that's that in. Love that. And what else have we got here? Let's have a look. Blue dog, yellow dog. Oh, he's cute. Yeah, let's have those. We like those. They're very cute. We don't have a pink section, so I'm not going to use the pink. Okay. I am trying to be a little bit tidier by putting stuff straight in the bin rather than on the floor and then pick it up off the floor later, which is what I normally do. Been talking to my sister this morning, and she was saying that she's just had her bathroom all refitted out and she's cleaning up after all the mess from that. I can't even begin to imagine what that's going to be like, with dust everywhere. But as I say, to her, nothing needs to be done immediately. She can do it as she goes along. I used to say that to my mum all the time. My mum used to panic about what never got done because she didn't have the energy to do it. And as it was her living on her own, it didn't really make any odds. She could have just done it whenever she wanted to. But she was a bit of a stickler for her housework. And so is my sister. There we go. And there's nothing wrong in that either, I would just like to add. Alright, so back to blue. Blue, blue, blue. Where are we going to put that? Do we want that on there? Quite like him there. I don't know what to do with him actually. I'm going to start umpteen different pages and not get anything filled up. Okay, I'm going to put him to one side for now because I'm not really sure. Actually, I'm looking at the yellow there, which is why that doesn't fit. I'm being a donut. Let me try this one instead. I might, yeah, you see, I think he fits nicer in there, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Actually, he's licking his lips, and there's the cheesecake there. So I think that's quite a nice little follow on from that. I'm just going to trim this down just a little bit. Things are relatively random, but sometimes it's nice if there's a little story going on there. Oh, I don't want to cut his ear off. I'll take that to about there, I think. I might use that scrap in something later. I'm just going to take that down just marginally as well. And you know what? I'm even going to check that the camera's still on, because earlier this week, if you didn't follow me earlier this week, it is on. You'll have known that I did an hour's videoing and didn't video anything. That was a little bit frustrating, not gonna lie. So do we want him here or here? Let me have a look and see where he's going to work best. Or do we want him in this corner? The idea is not to really think about this too much, and I'm really thinking about it way too much. Quite like in there. We're going to pop in there. I don't know how people just do things without thinking about it. I'm a little bit OCD-ish, I guess. And we're going to pop this, gonna pop that one in there. Just need to trim that little corner off that's sticking out. Okay. Nice. There we go. I'm just going to trim. Where's my scissors? There we go. Where is it? There. Barely over, but it is slightly. I'm not sure if my head just got in shot there. Sorry if it did. Oh gosh. There we go. Got it. That's nice. And I am just going to rinse my hands. Again, little top tip. Wet sponge in a plastic tub is awesome for just cleaning your little pinkies with. Just giving them a wipe over, get all the sticky off. And it just saves having to use lots of wet wipes. Wet wipes are great for certain things, but for the ecosystem they're not very good. Doing a bit for nature. There we go. So that's little doggy in there. Little blue doggy. Blues after green. Yeah, you see he fits better there now, doesn't he? Now you're on the right page. Just wondering. Darn it. I've done that. Yeah, I don't really want to. Oh, I suppose if I could cut him off a little bit, maybe. Let's have a look and see. If I was to cut him off there, how does that work? Let me have a look. So if I was to cut him off there, does that make him just a blob on the page? Not really. I think that still works, doesn't it? Yeah, I think that still works. I'm just going to take a little bit off the top here. That bit I'm not going to keep. And then I want to pop him there. What I'd like to do is find some designs that I can fussy cut out in the right colours, so that I can start adding bits over the top of these images. That works. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's just glue this one. But I suppose I've got to get a kind of a base down first, before I start fussy cutting stuff out and popping actual fussy cuts down. Kerry didn't actually show you the thought process behind what he did, but I'm sure his will turn out, or his turned out far better than mine will. The most important thing is that you just enjoy what you're doing. It doesn't really matter if anyone else likes it, as long as you're happy with it. So that's the dog done. So that's the blues coming on. Let's have a look and see what else we've got in here that we can make use of. See, that's a lovely picture for a blue, and that's a nice background. So I'm gonna use that. So some of these images have come from a photographic magazine, and this is only for my purpose. So you know, there's no copyrights or anything being broken, because I'm not actually using the images for selling or anything like this or like that. This is just for my own personal benefit of just sticking stuff in a book. So it's not going to be used for the wider sale market. It's just for me to enjoy. So blue. I quite like the idea of that going over both pages. So that's what we're going to do with that one. My page is getting a bit sticky. I'm going to have to change it in a minute. And I think my glue stick is about to die on me. Yep, glue stick's about to die on me. So that's that. I'll change that as well in a moment. I'm just going to butt that up there, pull that across there. There it is. Just want to ease that into the crease there. So what Kerry had also done, and I think this was the inspiration he got from the person that he got the idea from, and forgive me, I can't remember who that was actually, but if you watch Kerry's video, then you can pick that up from there. He put washi tape in the colour orientation. So for instance, he put the blue washi tape down the blue sides, or they put a trim of some description to coincide with the colours of whatever it was, that when you close the book up, it was all colour coded down, and that looked really nice as well. I'm not sure if he put that on before or after he'd finished collaging, but I'm going to put it on after, because I think I'd rather do that than the images ended up going over the trim. So that's my intention anyway. So that's that one done. That's that. That is a beautiful image, isn't it, for the violet. So we're going to go to the violet page, which is towards the back somewhere. There it is. Okay, and this one, I think I'd like to give this a page of its own, and maybe go across both pages. And I'm going to leave just a little bit of that section in just to give it the differentiation between the images. So what I would like to do, if I can find my ruler, there it is. Okay. I love this sort of crafting. It's really messy. That's that one. I'm going to put that in my scrap box. I'm just going to trim this rough edge down. Which is that piece there. Take that off of there. That bit can go in the bin. And then this piece, I would like just to keep that image there. So I'm going to have to move a few bits. I've got too much on my desk. Okay, there we go. I can see what I'm doing now. So I'd like that about there. I cut that across there. That's that one. Look at that. Isn't that the most beautiful image? That's really pretty. And in this one, I am going to pop it there, down into the crease and over onto the other page. And that will just look yummy. Yump, yump, yumps. So I'm going to do that. Oh, I need another glue stick. Let me find a glue stick, guys. Bear with me. Here's one I prepared earlier. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. And I'm just going to pop this one into its little hidey hole, because I keep them and then I make another one up of the empties. Just to save a little bit of money. We like to save money. Craft supplies are expensive. Yeah, for those of you that didn't see the top tip in one of my previous videos, the little plastic bit that the glue sits into, you can never get the glue out of that, not if you use it just as the glue stick without digging it out. So what I do is, when I've got enough what you would classify as empty glue sticks, I take all of the glue out of those little plastic bits and put them into one of the glue sticks, which makes up a new glue stick. So it takes, I don't know, probably about between 8 and 10 glue sticks to get another full glue stick out. So you're getting one free one out of every 8 to 10 that you buy. So that's not so bad. Helps just to save a little bit of pennies. Oh gosh, that's sticky. Let me just get that out of the way. Let me stick this on here. Sticky. Okay, this is going to be interesting. That's got that lined up. That's got that lined up. Okay. Try not to get any creases in it. It's the only thing when you're dealing with the larger images. It's a little bit more tricky to get them down without the creases. But the beauty is, with using the glue stick, it gives you that little bit of wiggle room to be able to manoeuvre them, which is good. Now we're just going to ease that into the crease. There we go. That's not quite down there, but I wonder if I could just tease that into place without ripping it. Probably not. And we're just going to ease that in there. Try desperately not to rip it. There Let's just close it up a bit. Just give it a squash down, technical term. There, that's nice. I know some of these images have got other colours in them, but it's the primary colour that I'm going for more than anything. I don't really mind if it's got other colours in it. It's just the primary colour, like I say, that I'm going for. I think that's lovely. That's really nice. Now that image would lend itself to quite a few little fussy cuts, depending on what I'm doing. Butterflies and things like that, so if I come across any butterflies in the violet colour, I could maybe add those in as well, which would look lovely. So that's the principle of the idea. So I'm going to go on and have a look through and see what else I can put in. Just to give you a little quick run through of what I've already done. I will be redoing the cover. This is a very old book. This is a very dirty cover. And I will be redoing this, but I'm going to revisit this from time to time. I'm not going to do it as one complete project now. This will be done over quite a long period, I would think, just as and when I just feel like doing not a lot really, apart from just cutting and sticking. So made a start. So we've got a start on the red section. I've got loads going on there. I've got the orange section started. I've got the yellow section started, with a few images there, so that's already coming on very nicely. Then we've got the green image, and that one there, as I said before, I'm not sure how I want to use that one at the moment, so I'm just going to leave that one in there so I know that's what I'm doing. And I think what I will do after the video is go through and just tuck some little designs into each of the pages so that I know where I want them before I start actively sticking them down. And then we're coming into the blue section, which I've got that lovely design there. And again, I suppose you could use butterflies and things on there, or I don't know, mushrooms. We'll have to have a look and see what we can find. And then we've got these designs going on here. And then we go into the, I haven't got anything on indigo yet. Yeah, that tends to be more of a bluey purple. So that's going to be interesting to fill that one. And then we're moving into the violet here, which has got a couple of images there, and I've just put that one in there. So we haven't got anything at all in for black at the moment, but no doubt we will find something to add to that. So I'm going to call it a day for now. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you could subscribe, like and share the channel, that would be absolutely brilliant. And I look forward to seeing you all again later. Thank you for joining me.